It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls that were jawing, let them go at it.
Hello and welcome to In the Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Budman buddy Songy here at Old School Barbecue. Of course, we donned the shades to start the program because LSU dropped the championship in the SEC tournament, 79-72 to those South Carolina Gamecocks. Of course, Coach Dawn Staley after the game talking about the brawl. If you haven't seen the brawl, go check out social media. It's everywhere. That's the reaction that Coach Kim Mulkey had. There wasn't a spot for it in the game, but she wished that Cardoso would have pushed somebody bigger like Angel Reese. I agree with Coach Kim Mulkey. Don't go push a guard that's barely 6 foot. When you're like 6'7", Cardoso, it's an unfair fight. Moving on, we'll also talk some LSU baseball, some LSU softball. Big game today on the Diamond. Tiger Park, the Lady Tigers host the Longhorns from Texas University. Depending on where you do your shopping with the polls, it's number 1 versus number 2 versus number 3. Either way, it is a very big game. 11 o'clock start today, Tuesday, as we tape on the 12th of March here on Tigers Roar. Want to welcome in the Budman. Great to see you. Happy to be here with you on Tigers Roar.
Good to see everybody. We are donning the gray and of the shades. Of course, LSU baseball also got beat 2-1 on Sunday. JP, I know Jay Johnson eats, sleeps, breathes, and probably of the 20 waking hours he's thinking baseball, maybe he sleeps 4 hours or whatever. But just too many of these unimportant games. They've got North Dakota State tonight. Again, a matinee tomorrow afternoon at the box at 1 against North Dakota State, which is 3-11. They'll leave out of here 3-13. Then go play their first SEC road series at Mississippi State. Everybody talking women's hoops and the incident. If you're on social media, that's the first problem. Now, he's young and he watches and listens to all this crap, but it's poison. It's junk. If you don't know anything about Sterling Sharp, this is a guy jumping over the table a few months ago to get at somebody at an NBA game, and here he is castrating and criticizing and finger pointing. Yeah. Look, the referees once again let it get out of hand. There was a lot of chippiness, a lot of talk. Little did we know, both teams were served spicy sausage before the game, and it came out with an incredible game. Obviously, in the semifinals, LSU lost last year Poche to a concussion, so they were running on empty.
Absolutely.
Good to see Janae Kent and Aaliyah Del Rosario step up a little bit. Brackets for the ladies come out at 7 o'clock, and I think that Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers are right where they want if they can get everybody healthy. But back to this fight. Right before, LSU had cut it to a 1-point lead, 9-0 run, and then some ill-advised shots, one of them including Angel Reese on the 3-point. Look, when you beat somebody by 10 or 15, fine.
Right.
We know that, she was shooting with Jay Williams, and she can shoot the ball better than she did before. But turnovers and shot selection down the stretch. That all being said, Cardoso, right before the incident, had pushed Anissa Morrow on a made field goal, just flat out pushed her butt, and once again, no call. LSU women will be better off getting away from these incompetent, biased SEC officials, and boy, I tell you what, it's kind of nice to see a little spice. Good or bad for the game?
No, absolutely good. You want the game to be elevated, and it takes passion from both sides. You'll hear from Coach Kim Mulkey later on in this program, along with Angel Reese, their post-game press conference from that South Carolina game. And Coach Kim Mulkey will say it like this. Look, we wanted to compete. We wanted to fight. We thought our team, despite having 3 games in 3 days, only having 6 players available to play, they fought. They're tough, and they were scrapping until the very end. Came up a little bit short, but you always want to win one more game, according to Coach Kim Mulkey, in the SEC tournament than they did last year. Her first year with the program, LSU got bounced out really early last year. They got beat by Tennessee, but came back and won the whole big dance in March Madness. So LSU playing, according to Coach Kim Mulkey, their best basketball right now. Fought till the very end, was scrappy. You mentioned the injury to last year, Poa. She was playing crucial minutes for LSU. She was unavailable against South Carolina. Everybody kind of figured that LSU was going to get blown out. They fought till the very end.
Yeah.
You mentioned the fight. I mean, it happened to where Flaugier, loses the ball, an open clear path foul, stops the easy layup, and then she's drawn, she gets pushed, and then boom, Cardoso comes and absolutely lays her out. Of course, Flaugier's brother jumps over the scores table to try to protect her, and there's no point there's no part in the game for people coming on the stand, especially during a fight. That was not okay, but okay with the fight, okay with pushing and shoving. It happens in the men's game all the time. LSU. Still, all their goals are right there in front of them. Coach Kim Mulkey expects to host the first and second round. Still waiting to see the seedings, but LSU sitting in a good spot right now, Lady Tigers.
Yeah, if you're in the top 16, you're going to host the 2 sites, and LSU will play. They will get the news on Sunday. Look, back to the craziness. I thought the officials let you saw Angel Reese and Cardoso right the first couple of minutes talking. Getting in each other's face, pushing and shoving. They could have called some earlier fouls. They did call some fouls, but once again, late in the game, not a lot of fouls called. Bottom line is that Kim Mulkey and Lady Tigers, I think the key, just me, Michaela Williams has got to play the way she did earlier. We know she hit that freshman wall. Then she had the foot in the boot. She played limited minutes because they needed her with Poa out. And let's be honest, I think this team is better when Poa is leading the point and Haley Van Lith, who, by the way, has become a fan favorite now because that young lady, the grad transfer, or actually the transfer from Louisville, she's got this year. We'll talk about it later on when we get to the end of the season. Will they come back, both her and Angel? But she got up right into the face of Cardoso. Yeah. And so it was a bonding. Angel Reese, by the way, had limped over to the bench and had tweaked the ankle again. So, look, I don't know if you've seen numbers on it. It wasn't on the regular ESPN channel. It was the ESPNU, which I don't think has as many homes to view it. But look, between Iowa and Caitlin Clark and Carolina and LSU and a couple of more, USC, this could be another Final Four. And, the way they're playing defense now, JP, I think they got a chance to get to the Final Four. Earlier on, I was thinking maybe Sweet 16. They're going to get Sweet 16, Elite 8, we'll see. Yeah. But another great ride. Men win their final game in the PMAC, and they're 9-9. Who would have thought that they would be 500 in the SEC this year?
Won their last 3 or 4, and Coach McMahon's team, cooking at the right time, headed to the SEC tournament. Got to make a correction early in the program, but he did say Sterling Sharp. It's his little brother, Shannon Sharp.
I'm sorry.
Don't want to be sued for defamation. It was Shannon Sharp that tried to fight somebody in the NBA game.
And there's nothing Sterling about either one of the Sharp kids.
There you go.
If anybody should have never had a Sharp name, it was Sterling and Shannon.
We got to take our first break of the episode. We'll come back, talk some LSU women's basketball. Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey, they'll talk about that SEC tournament right here on Tigers Roar. You're watching it here on Pelican Sports TV.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis. Not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Right now, during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5, or get 0.9% financing on the all-new 24 Mazda CX-90. Save thousands on over 150 new Mazdas now on sale at Team Mazda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Lady Tigers, for those Kim Mulkey-led LSU basketball team, now sits at 28-5. They finished up the SEC tournament, made it to the championship game, face a very talented #1 overall South Carolina team. LSU was banged up, dealing with injuries. Last year, Poche goes down. She's in concussion protocol. Smoked the floor trying to take a charge, which she's done a fantastic job all season. Her whole career for LSU taking that charge. But she hits her head, bangs it pretty hard. She's out for the championship, SEC championship. LSU, outsiders might have said they didn't have a shot in this game, but man, they were going to get blown out by South Carolina. That's not the case at all. They were very chippy from the start. Angel Reese got in Cardoso's head. She was, banging those bodies down low. Haley Van Lith, no back down on that girl, and it came down to the end. There was a brawl at the end of that game. Under 2 minutes, you'll hear from Coach Kim Mulkey in just a minute, but under 2 minutes of that game, only one foul call on each team in a very chippy championship SEC tournament game. Officiating was not good enough. I think that's what led to that brawl at the end. Frustration just leaked out. Cardoso came and absolutely levels Flau'jae Johnson after she was drawn with another girl. Look, it happens in the men's game, and a fight is no big deal. This fight between these two women's teams has got a lot of coverage on social media, a lot of coverage on how both different coaches, both Dawn Staley and Coach Kim Mulkey, handled the situation, their comments after the game. So, Bud, man, I want to get your final thoughts on the whole situation. Also need you to clean up a situation. During the game, after the fight, the announcers had said everyone in the fight would not be allowed to play in the first round NCAA tournament. Of course, they came a couple of minutes later and said that was incorrect. So just clean up the situation, what your take was, and who's available for LSU moving to this NCAA tournament.
If you do have an incident during the game, if you do leave the bench, then you are disqualified, and that, of course, happened with both teams. They were left with 5 or 6 players respectively, I think. That all being said, look, I don't think you talk about reacting very quickly. I have not seen a replay, but Flau'jae Johnson's brother's got to have some hops, because if you saw it just quickly, boom, boom. I don't know how he got over that. He might have been a broad jumper or long jumper or whatever, because he was out there. He did not take a shot at Cardoso, but he did put his hands up and did put his hands on her to get in between her and Flau'jae. Bottom line is that, once again, SEC officials let this get out of hand. These are two juggernauts. This is not opinion. LSU's lost 16 straight games to South Carolina women's basketball.
Yep.
Kim Mulkey and them are 4-0. on the bad way. But guess what? That day and time is going to come. They know what kind of coach, the talent that they have, the depth that they have. That all being said, LSU rounded into shape. You pull it back. Protocol for concussions usually at least a week, sometimes 10 days. But you got to like the way LSU and the Lady Tigers are playing. Once again, don't know if we've got the TV numbers, but, they're comparing South Carolina to the Detroit Pistons when they they get away with playing like this. Gino Auriemma and many other women's coaches have been calling out South Carolina. That being said, they are still undefeated. They won the tournament the 8th time in 10 years. So Lady Tigers, once again, very tough, very close. One of the things that I saw, 2 things. Too many turnovers. Didn't think they passed the ball around. I thought they played like me's, not we's, in the latter part of the game. Passed the ball around. Quit shooting all those threes. Get you some good shots. You know they go to the foul line a lot. But it's very exciting and, of course, the talk of the country right now.
Yeah, well, Bud, man, you mentioned the assists. LSU only had 11 as a team. South Carolina did have 16. Of course, last year, Poche plays into that. LSU only had 7 players log minutes in the game. South Carolina, of course, what I noticed in the game, much deeper than LSU at this point in the programs. South Carolina able to, bring out some serious, real length from that bench. And in the women's game, that's you can't put a price on that, but man, we'll let you guys hear from Angel Reese, who did have a double-double in this game. She had 15 points and the 13 rebounds. Later from Angel Reese, the junior forward, and Coach Kim Mulkey right here. You're watching on Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Angel, have you ever been a part of a game like that one?
No, I've never been a part of a game like that, but of course, 2 heavy hitters, that we gonna battle. We're not scared of them, they're not scared of us. We came in and know what we had, they came in and know what they had, and it turned up and went ways that we didn't want it to go, but I'm proud of this team. We fought with 5, maybe 6 healthy players, if that. Just know we're not scared, and we're at a place right now that I'm proud of, and I'm happy to where we are right now.
Corey?
Yeah, Angel, to that point, I wanted to get you to expound a little bit more on how this team, as shorthanded as you guys were and how beaten, banged up as you guys were, this is the #1 team in the country, and you guys gave them everything that they could handle again today.
We're not going to make that an excuse. We're not scared of South Carolina, and I'm going to repeat that. We're not scared of South Carolina. And a lot of people are scared of them, and we came in and battled and battled and battled and battled and battled to the end. And, of course, we came up short, but we'll see them again, or whoever will see them again. But I'm just happy, and I'm going to acknowledge my teammates first, because Janae, Aaliyah, they came off the bench and did big things for us. Michaela, she was frustrated because she had to do minimum numbers in minimum time, but she came out there and did what she did, and she defended and she played as hard as she could. So being able to be proud of this team, I'm not going to give them all the credit because I know how hard we played. We played hard, we played tough, we did whatever it took to win, and sadly we came up short, but I'm happy where we are right now, and anybody seeing us moving forward should be scared.
Chessa?
You touched on a minute, Aaliyah, big-time minutes from her, and she wasn't scared either. What did you see from her?
I told her she the real foreign baddie around here. Aaliyah, the freshman, and her confidence coming into this game, I told her, you can bang with Camila Cardoza. You match up with her and keep doing it and keep banging and being confident. Every day in practice, she going against me. And understanding how she has gotten better over the past couple months and her confidence building and her being conditioned and finishing around a basket and not being scared, I'm super proud of where she's at, and her confidence just continues to build.
In the back?
Reed Darcy with The Advocate. Angel, this weekend as a whole, how would you describe it? What was it like?
It was fun. I mean, we kind of can see where our team is right now, how tough we are. We can't put our heads down because everything that we have been through this weekend. But again, I'm not going to make that an excuse. We're going to go back. We're going to rest up and have a week and a half to see where we're going to be placed for the NCAA tournament. So we're in a great place right now. We're going to look back and see what the mistakes we made, of course. But I think we're happy at where we're at right now.
Corey?
Angel, how can a tournament like this just prepare you guys for that next step?
Yeah, I mean, SEC is one of the best, if not the best conference in the country. And I think 7 to 8 teams should be in the tournament. There's so many teams that we faced this year that have held us tight or have beat us this year that should be in the tournament. So I'm happy for the SEC and where we're at right now. I think that helps build us to get ready to play these other teams in these other conferences. But I'm just proud of our team and where we're at right now to finish in the championship where last year we fell short to Tennessee and didn't get there. LSU as a program, we're happy at where we're at.
Reed.
Angel, do y'all feel fatigued at all, given 3 games in 3 days and everything you sort of went through this weekend?
I think my adrenaline is still going. Like, I can get another quarter. And I think a lot of us, if we had 5 more minutes, we wanted to go back out there and fight. I mean, this team has just been so relentless. All the adversity that we face, missing players, injuries, so many things has happened to us. We can be tired, but we're not tired. And like I said, I think everybody would love to get another 5 minutes if we could.
Where do you even start? What is going through your mind? All the things.
They did exactly what I thought what I thought they would do. I got some champions out there. Guys, you got a kid with a gimpy ankle. You got 2 starters, basically. Michaela got some minutes. She got cleared to get a few minutes. We're in a good spot. Angel is right. We're playing some pretty good basketball right now, and that's just the God's truth. They got a lot of depth. One kid basically hurt us today, and that was Fulwally. You look at the stats. How can you not leave here and go, God, I wish that the playoffs started next week. But we'll have everybody back. Everybody's good to go. So the NCAA, you don't need to call me and ask if Michaela Williams is good. You don't need to ask me if Angel Reese is good. You don't need to ask me about Poche. She's only in concussion protocol. We are playing our best basketball. Congratulations to South Carolina. They made plays when we would cut the lead. Turnovers killed us today. Turnovers. And it was very, very physical.
Corey.
Kim, forgive me, I have to ask, just what was your vantage point of kind of what shook out there in the last couple of minutes of the game?
Well, let me say this. Do you realize there was only 1 foul called on each team with 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter? Are you kidding me? That might have created some of that. Not the way we play. We're going to foul your ass. Not the way they play. They're going to foul your ass. But you only blew that whistle 1 time? Think about that now. Flage, what I saw, intentionally fouled Fulwally because she stripped her. Great move, because she's going to get a layup right there. And then some jawing went on with her and another player, and then the next thing I know, Cardoza just waylaid her. And so I ran because somebody came out of the stands. I think it was Flage's brother trying to keep him, from doing anything crazy. But that was all I know. I can't tell you from my bench how many left the court. Obviously, they saw it on film and said everybody had to go. And then I think 1 player for South Carolina didn't leave the bench. But my question is, I don't really know the rules. Why weren't the coaches tossed if they left the bench? Wouldn't that be a hell of an ending? But I guess it's just the players that leave the bench area. I don't know. It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those 2 girls that were jawing, let them go at it.
Reed.
Coach, just to clear it up, will any of your players be suspended for the next game?
We didn't have any ejections. They had an ejection. They told me Cardoza was the only one ejected for fighting.
And overall weekend, what did you think you learned from your team over this course this weekend?
Pretty darn tough. Pretty darn tough. Resilient. They have each other's back. Didn't get rattled. Fought through some adversity with Poa's injury last night to even get to this point. And I'm sure everybody thought, oh, we're going to be tired. We're not going to be able to compete. They're going to blow us out. Well, I think you got a different answer today. That was a ball game out there today.
Any other questions for Coach Mulkey? Corey?
Kim, this team's ability to overcome not having last year and Angel dealing with her ankle issue and Michaela gutting out a foot issue and the myriad of other things. For you as the coach, how much level of confidence and comfort does it give you when you're in this part of the season where the next game is going to be an NCAA tournament game and you're about to start that hopeful path of winning 6 straight games?
I said, let's start playing tomorrow. I love where we are. I love where we are. We're not going to see South Carolina again unless we meet up in the Final Four. So I feel like we'll get a good seed. We'll host the first and second rounds. And I feel great. I feel great.
That was head coach Kim Mulkey after LSU was defeated by the South Carolina Gamecocks 79-72 in the championship game of that SEC tournament. March Madness is around the corner for Coach Kim Mulkey. They could absolutely use this week of rest, bud, man. Waiting to see where they will be seated as we tape here on March the 12th, a Tuesday. We're at Old School Barbecue. Don't forget, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All of the Tigers' roars are archived right there for your viewing pleasure. Of course, we have a new show here at the Pelican, Talking Sports with Chris Powers. Had a very special guest as they taped yesterday, the 11th of Monday. Coach Beth Tarina, the Lady Tigers head softball coach. Great conversation with Chris Powers. It's on our YouTube page. Go check it out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. When we come back from this break, we'll talk some LSU softball, a very big game going on right now at Tiger Park. We'll get you the update. We'll talk some LSU softball and baseball right after this break. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Licerio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Licerio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Licerio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The winning play is the Buy Here, Sell Here event at the Team Automotive Group. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here and you'll be the winner at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Treads and Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads and Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads and Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads and Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and the Budman Buddy Songy here at Old School Barbecue. Of course, in the first segment of this episode, we had the sunglasses on. But now it's time to talk LSU softball. You take the sunglasses off, Budman, because 22-0, 3-0 in the SEC, the last undefeated team. Head coach Beth Torina's group is playing outstanding in a very big game. As we speak, as we tape right now, Tuesday, March the 12th, LSU hosting Texas at Tiger Park, currently with a 1-0 lead. Gutierrez hit a double to score Briggs, and LSU sits on top of Texas right now as we tape this episode of Tigers Roar. Go ahead, Budman.
That game is on the SEC network. 1-0. Look, they have found a way to win. I want to say they've had 8 or 9 shutouts, hitting the ball better, a variety of pitchers. And look, can you imagine softball next year with Texas and OU coming into the SEC? A lot of people are trying to put pressure on Beth Torina this year. She's got a monster class coming in for the next class. A lot of freshmen once again. But you know how it is. You've got to have dominant pitching. You got to play good defense. And you have to manufacture runs. And going to Kentucky, most softball pundits I talk to, they'd be happy with 2 out of 3. And lo and behold, they got the brooms out and got the sweep.
Yeah, we had to do some highlights from the Kentucky game, the Kentucky series, and we'll get to those in just a moment. Coach Beth Torina did have some talk this week before the season started about, man, was this going to be the year? Coach Beth Torina was on the hot seat, and just absolutely starting off fantastic so far, but man. LSU softball has always been very competitive, but the defense and the pitching this year, you mentioned they found ways to win, but very dominant on the rubber, on the mound for LSU. Another new coach coming in here to help them with the hitting. They have played relatively smart, and as we know, the SEC is always going to be competitive, whether it's softball, whether it's baseball. Oh, by the way, we are taping, as JP said, Tuesday night. And lo and behold, they will have North Dakota State tonight out at the box at 6. That is on the SEC Digital Network. And then a Wednesday afternoon matinee game. You know, Jay Johnson can't help himself. He wants to play all these games. Here's our softball as we talk about LSU Kentucky this weekend. All right, LSU versus Kentucky. Big hit right there, getting things started for LSU. Of course, Kentucky also in the SEC was ranked at the time, number 23. LSU goes to Lexington, but obviously defense always travels for LSU. Great job right there on the mound. Coach Beth Torina, really preaches defense. It's attention to detail. And when LSU gets enough runs, it can just hold teams to that 3-4 run mark. They're going to win a lot of ball games, but man. And of course, Sydney Berzon has been their ace, but they've had a couple of other pitchers that have come in there. And look, when you have a great one, you know how it is. You can let them pitch 2 or 3 games, almost every game. But it's good to have a little bit of a break, and it's good to have somebody coming in from the bullpen with a little different stuff. You hope that that siren in the background is going to tell you that LSU needs to get this victory against Texas this afternoon. See some more great pitching from LSU. Painting a corner right there. It's a very tough pitch to get to from a left-handed batter, especially those slap hitters, Bud, man. You're already moving yourself in the batter's box, but that I guess you call it a dive ball or an outside slider. I'm not really up on the lingo of the pitching terms for softball. I need to do a better job with that, but undefeated LSU starts with defense. We saw Paul Skeens do it last season for LSU baseball, and LSU really rode him to the postseason through the championship. And lots of freshmen giving quality innings for LSU. Talent all over the field, and when you get a few runs, LSU has the pitching to win close games.
Yeah, they had a rain delay on Friday night, so I did see the end of that first game Saturday. They took care of business and then came back to win and had, I want to say, 6 runs. We're tied up 2-2 and had a 6-run in the 6th inning on that third game to invariably win 8-3, I think. So, look, a lot. And if you see these pictures that we're showing you, you don't have anybody that's the fireballer.
Right.
But once again, everybody knows you got the cutter, you got the sinker, and the catcher does a good job of framing some of those pitchers on the corner, JP.
And as we mentioned, LSU hosting Texas right now at Tiger Park as we tape this episode of Tigers Roar here on March the 12th. LSU currently with a 1-0 lead. LSU, look, kind of caught some criticism because they were the last undefeated team. Were they having these cupcake scheduled teams before they got into the SEC meet? Well, you sweep Kentucky, you take on Texas at home today, but then you move on to Ole Miss, another talented SEC team. Then the gauntlet continues. You go to Missouri, and then you're at Nichols, and you're at Texas A&M at home, bud, man. So lots of games left in the schedule for Coach Beth Serena's team. How long can they keep this undefeated streak going?
I don't know. I mean, you got to go one game at a time right now, and I think Coach Serena is very happy with everybody locked in. One pitch at a time, one inning at a time, one game at a time. Oh, by the way, you talked about schedule. I think last week their RPI was #1. So they're pushing all the right buttons. They're making all the right plays. No, they're not going to stay undefeated. They're going to lose some games. But it does look like, and invariably, Beth Serena and the Lady Tigers now with this start, their fan base is certainly going to want to hope that they get to OKC this year.
LSU baseball also in action this past weekend. Of course, the defending, or Coach Jay Johnson hates that term, but the attacking national championship baseball team dropped another Sunday game, but we'll talk about that series after we get to a week ago on Wednesday. LSU traveled to Hammond, Louisiana to take on the Southeastern Lions. Of course, the Lions have a new head coach. A longtime head coach, Matt Reiser, and the Southeast Lions parted ways. Now Bobby Barbier is the head guy out there in Hammond. And, Bud, man, it all starts with that guy right there, Luke Holman, LSU's ace, absolutely dominant. And ERA doesn't get much better than Holman's got right now.
Well, Kate Anderson is right there on the lefty. 7 straight batters to open the game, all striking out. And he has been fantastic. I have yet to verify if that is a record. This was a great game, a packed house. LSU was down 3-1, and Ethan Fry with a big run-scoring double. And then Paxton Kling comes in a 2-run double. They escaped out of that Hammond game, obviously 4-3, but 7 straight strikeouts to start the game, 13 in 5 innings. I don't know if I've ever seen an LSU pitcher have more than 7 straight strikeouts to open a game, JP.
And it was a great crowd out there in Hammond. Of course, Southeastern will travel to Baton Rouge and face LSU here coming up shortly. But great crowd in Hammond, and you saw a great pitching performance by LSU's Cade Anderson. He went 5, gave up 2 hits, 0 earned runs. Did walk 2, but had 13 strikeouts, Bud, man. Absolutely dominant from the left. Kept LSU in the ball game the whole time, and you mentioned it got down to the 9th inning. And some magic at the end. LSU pulls out a 1-run victory, but a pretty good turnout in Hammond right there to see a great ball game. Shine some light on great Louisiana baseball.
And, of course, as you mentioned, Luke Holman is the ace. He is now 4-0. 10-to-1 ratio, strikeouts to walks, and I think he's got 40 strikeouts and 4 walks right now in 4 games. Also, Gage Jump, the lefty, who is the Saturday starter, the second game of the series starter. He also is undefeated at 2-0 and is yet to give up a run. And this Cade Anderson, he's going to figure heavily. Of course, Thatcher Hurd, Javen Coleman, a ton of pitching on this LSU team. The hitting has fallen off a little bit. They are still lacking a little patience at the plate. But once again, would you rather this team with their hitting peak in May and June or early March and April?
That's right, LSU. The bullpen did get involved this afternoon in Hammond, of course. and also played a big part in the weekend games. Bud, man, you saw Holman have another dominant performance. LSU wins 4-0 in Game 1. Game 2, Gage Jump, who figures to work in very heavily as one of my favorite newcomers to this LSU baseball team. Of course, Stephen Milam continues a tremendous start to his LSU career. LSU does drop that Sunday game with a final score of 2-1, but it was not due fault to the starting pitcher. Thatcher Hurd, outstanding performance to start that ball game, but man, LSU just couldn't scratch across enough runs.
I always say this, they just play so many games leading up to the SEC. They'll play 5 games this week. One tonight at 6, one tomorrow afternoon at 1, and then, of course, the 3 games at Mississippi State, 2 of the 3 on the digital network.
That was a great play right there. If you're watching the highlights, first base a minute, outstanding stop. First base has developed a little bit, Bud, man. The Bear, Jared Jones, obviously he has the long ball working for him, but needs to work on his defense a little bit. But that was a fantastic play right there by the first baseman.
And, of course, here is, I want to say that looked like Plaxton saying this is going to be the, actually that gets you in 4-3, and everybody's pushing Ethan Fry. 2 outs, and Ethan Fry comes in there, run-scoring double, and then Paxton Kling, a 2-run double. LSU steals one from Hammond, 4-3 against Southeastern.
Nasty Nate Ackenhouse comes in and shuts the door on the Lions.
3 straight strikeouts.
And he did a fantastic job. Of course, Nasty Nate also came in on that Sunday game. Is charged with the loss against Xavier. LSU now with a record sitting pretty good at 14-2. Hasn't started the SEC part of their schedule yet, Budman. But of course, after these 2 games against North Dakota State on Tuesday, today, and Wednesday, obviously Mississippi State on the road in Stark Vegas. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday series.
Expect 2 out of 3, maybe even a sweep with this LSU pitching. We've said it on numerous occasions. If they all stay healthy, Chase Shores and other guys might be coming back from the injury that they sustained last year. But right now, JP, deepest pitching staff I've seen maybe ever with this 2024 group, and they're going to have to carry those guys a long way this year.
As we mentioned, North Dakota State coming to Baton Rouge. They face LSU for back-to-back days. Today, Tuesday the 12th, and tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th. Of course, 6 o'clock tonight and 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And, of course, LSU will head to Stark Vegas, take on Mississippi State for this weekend series. We'll take a quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back, talk some LSU football. That's right, swing football in action. We have some Coach Brian Kelly press conference. He's talking about his new team. Of course, a lot of people looking forward to this season. Year 3 under Coach Brian Kelly. A lot of expectations. LSU did win 10 games last season. Looking to do more this season. We'll take a quick break here on Tigers Roar. You'll come back and watch it right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Now's the best time to experience Mazda during the Season of Inspiration at Team Mazda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on your new Mazda. That's right, shop now, choose your new Mazda, and make no payments for 90 days at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Certainly appreciate you tuning in with us here on Pelican Sports TV. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It is time to talk some LSU football, Budman. Spring football underway.
Hey, look, Garrett Nussmeier going to be the new quarterback. Joe Sloan going to be the new offensive coordinator. 6 total new coaches, 5 on defense. What are you going to do with Harold Perkins? The skinny right now, what is LSU going to look like at D tackle when they get ready for the fall drills in August? And running back, a little short at running back in the spring. Don't freak out. Here is Coach Brian Kelly giving you an assessment of where things are at this point. Still a work in progress, but things are looking good. And once again, we'll give you tidbits and a lot more next week or 2 weeks from today. Here is Coach Brian Kelly after his first opportunity to meet with the media this spring.
We concluded our second spring practice, and as you know, the first 2 days are helmets and spider pads. You know, it's really about getting them in football-related activities, installation, you know, relative to your offense and defense. You know, we have some new coaches certainly on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. So, you know, getting them into the flow of things and, you know, essentially how, you know, we want the practice to look. I think our guys have done a really good job. The off season's been really good. You know, the attention to detail, the accountability in terms of the off-season workouts has really been outstanding, and it's carried its way into the practices. You know, I've always said, and I'll continue to say the same thing as long as I'm coaching, you know, when it's a player-led football team, you're always going to be in a much better situation than if the coaches have to lead everything. And this is the closest that I've had in my time here at LSU that this is a player-led football team. So those are good signs. And as I said, you know, 2 days into it, you know, we're trying to get, you know, just the football activities and the technical and tactical work done and giving our kids a sense of, you know, what we're going to be building in terms of an identity, because each year's a new year, right? I mean, so building an identity on offense and defense and rolling in, as I mentioned, that factor of a player-led team, but now doing it within a football organization. So with that, we'll open it up to questions.
Hey, Coach, you talked about just kind of building that foundation on both sides of the ball, coaching-wise, in terms of what y'all want to do. What's been your impression of going in defensive staff and seeing kind of what those guys have mindset-wise and knowing what they've got experience-wise and how they've sort of put that to work here early on?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the past 6 weeks, you know, being in, you know, constant contact with the defensive staff that we've assembled, you know, Blake and certainly, you know, everybody associated with our defensive staff. It's been, for me, very comfortable, great communicators. You know, we're all on the same page relative to what we're teaching and how we want to teach it, evaluations and recruiting. It's been a really smooth transition. I like the way we're coaching, you know, what we're demanding, the attention to, the real details of playing defense, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves in a sense of, understanding, the basic tenets of playing really good defense. And you can see that early on. So it's been enjoyable. I think that we're going to see a defense that's going to play with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I know that our guys are excited. You can see just by the way they're practicing over the last couple of days.
You talked about finding that identity on offense with the new quarterback. Does the style of play change that drastically? And how much of this spring is kind of learning what these guys can do so that you could then build the offense around what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, each year you're always going to build it around, players, not plays. So each year is going to have a little bit of a change. This is still going to be, about finding the best playmakers and getting them the ball like it was last year. And, Jaden is a different, Garrett is a different quarterback than Jaden. So, we'll look to do things that highlight him. So the nuances within the offense, in terms of attacking, pushing the ball down the field, having balance between the run and the pass, that's not going to change. But the players involved, we have to be able to highlight what they're good at and what their strengths are. And that's where you'll see some changes.
Brian, just as you were going through this offseason and looking for a new offensive coordinator, what made you, end up choosing Joe Sloan to be the play caller?
Well, I think, he's been on a job interview for a couple of years. I've gotten a chance to work with him. I've been in the quarterback meeting room. That's where I sit when I get a chance to be involved. I get pulled out quite a bit. This pesky day job keeps me doing other things other than, you'd love to be able to coach a position, but you just can't with the other responsibilities that you have. So answering the question, I've been around him, and I know what that position requires to be the offensive coordinator. And so I just felt like he had the leadership capabilities, the intellect, the understanding of what I was looking for in terms of our offensive identity and philosophy, and felt like it was his time. And, I think he's well supported with Cortez. I think that we've put an offensive staff around him and built an offensive line that's really going to support him with Brad and, a veteran and Frank. I just felt like the pieces and all of them in totality made this the right choice at the right time.
Coach, where would you say Shelton Sampson is right now and now entering his second year? Now that you got a couple guys going pro, and what does he have to do to get some playing time?
Yeah, I just think that Shelton has made progress. I think that the big jump for him is the physicality of the game. Where he can use his length and size, but he's got to be able to do it when there's hands on him. He's a guy that you don't want off the line of scrimmage. When you have to compete against him down the field, that's a problem. So, he's continuously working on releases, not getting rerouted, not getting driven out of play, and a lot of that is the physical end of the game. And he's coming on. He's getting there. Once he puts that behind him, I can see him making great strides really quickly.
Hey, Coach. I guess, how do you see the run game evolving this year? Obviously, Jaden was a one-man team last year in that respect. Just the evolution of guys like Caleb Jackson and how important it is for him to grow this year, and just how maybe you see that changing this offseason.
Yeah. Certainly, you're looking to make up for, those yards that you've lost with a Jaden Daniels. And you can do it in a number of different ways, right? You can do it with perimeter throws that Jaden gave us with perimeter runs. And you can do it not simply with the running backs, but how you use your offensive line. We think that we've got, some of the, if not one of the best, certainly one of the top offensive lines in the country. And they're athletic as well. We think our tackles can move and pull. So I think a run game that now becomes a lot more diversified in the sense that we can start moving and pulling our offensive linemen to create an offensive running game that strikes on a much wider front. And so I think certainly the running backs will play a part in this, but I think the focus needs to be much more on how the offensive line will play a much larger role in what we do to enhance our running game.
Ryan, going back to what you said about a team, a player-led team, what are some of the things you look for, and particularly, what are you seeing from these guys that you like?
I think more than anything else is that when players start pointing out to each other what the standard is and correcting them if they're not doing it the right way, then that has always led to, for me, the best teams that I've ever coached. And you can see it in so many different ways, from how they show up on time or early, to making sure that their locker room is clean, to how they practice, and in terms of finishing drills. And when you have guys going, hey, that's not how we do it, finish the drill the right way, or we don't grab the back and tag off. We tag, and coaches don't have to point that out, and players are leading that charge. You get a sense that those things are going to continue to build, and when things get tough out on the field and players need to hold each other accountable on a big drive, or the need to come up with a big player stop, the coaches can't run out on the field in those situations, and the players need to take care of that. That's when you get a sense that things are moving in the right direction.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly, his spring football first press conference of the 2024 season. The next question in that press conference was about Harold Perkins, how he will remain at inside linebacker under the new defensive coordinator Blake Baker. But, man, is that a good idea?
He will play Will, which is the weak side, not the Mike. Greg Penn III will play Mike. Of course, Whit Weeks is going to play a lot inside. Look, linebacker's not a problem. And obviously, you gotta fill some holes at D tackle. But Perkins, I'll say this confidently, he will be put in a much better spot this year with Blake Baker to make plays than as we saw last year.
Have to make up a whole lot of yards on the ground, replace that Jaden Daniels threat. Of course, he moves on to the pros after winning the Heisman Trophy. That's all the time we have here on this episode of Tigers Roar. Thanks for watching. Go check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You're watching right here on Pelican Sports TV.